Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, I'm going to be making a guide for the two top performing CRAZED SHELLBRUTE teams, which we made videos on each of them earlier in the day today. I'm going to talk about the minimum requirements you're going to need to pull these teams off effectively, as well as the faction talents you should try to be upgrading. There has been a minor change to the Graveborn version of the comp. As you can tell here, we're running Sylvina compared to Thorin, and this will give you a bit of a damage boost, and I'll explain exactly the positioning and everything when we get into it. So first of all, for both of these comps, it relies on a damage carry Fresto, and so if you have Fresto at Mythic Plus or above, that is really the breakpoint to allow these comps to overtake the power of the other teams that are available for CRAZED SHELLBRUTE. So if you have like a lowly ascended Fresto, these teams are not going to be the best option for you, and I made another video for that, the top 10 teams for the CRAZED SHELLBRUTE, earlier today. But if you have Fresto, Mythic Plus or above, then these teams are going to be the best options out there. Now, for this Graveborn team specifically, you're going to want to have, like we mentioned, Fresto, Mythic Plus or above, Smokey, Mythic Plus or above, and ideally Ludovic, Mythic Plus or above. It isn't because Ludovic unlocks any key ability at Mythic Plus, but it is going to give him stats, and if you have him at Mythic Plus, then maybe you have him at +5 or above exclusive equipment, which also just gives him stats. These will increase the amount of HP per second damage he can deal to the boss, and that is going to be a major source of your damage. Ludovic is the third biggest damage source on the team. Now, Sylvina here is actually mainly being used as a sacrifice. So if you have her ascended, that's great. She doesn't have to be ascended, but the higher ascended, the more upgraded you have her in exclusive equipment, the higher stats she will have, and your prime carriers will be gaining a percentage of the stats of the hero, which is your sacrifice, and that is the rearmost hero in your formation, other than the prime carriers, which is Sylvina here, who will be the sacrifice. So this is why we've changed up like sort of the team comp instead of running Thorin. The other thing is that Thorin doesn't actually provide that much value for this team, because like we said, the major damage source from this team is Vicious Sting from Fresto, the Smoky Blue Aura, and Ludovic skill is active, which causes HP per second damage. Now we have tested it, and we have seen that the shield does not reduce any of the HP per second damage which is dealt by our team. So whether the boss is shielded, whether we have like a bonus like Soul Plunder causing the boss to take more damage, it's a fixed amount of health which is going to be removed from the boss per second based on the attack of your heroes dealing the damage. So that is why the only way we can increase the damage is increasing the attack of the team. We can, if we apply debuffs to increase the damage the boss receives, it doesn't do anything as far as we know right now, and that is why Thorin is not adding value. So better to bring a hero that actually deals decent damage. Like Sylvina deals decent damage. She's a better prime carrier to give more stats to our carriers, the Frestos, and that's why this works out so well. And then we have Nero because he has the attack charms on his magic charms. That's going to be giving the attack buff to the major Fresto we have here with the resonating spell. As for the positioning of the main and illusion, it doesn't make any difference. They are identical in stats, so place them in any which way you want. It doesn't make any difference. So the positioning of this is still going to be optimal because Nero is going to run up, Fresto is going to follow behind the Nero. Nero is going to be the first target gulped by the boss, even though Sylvina makes it to the boss first. If you look at our positioning here, whichever melee hero is the frontmost, which is the Nero instead of Sylvina, that is the hero which is going to be gulped first. So Nero is going to be gulped first, Sylvina will be getting off some of her damage, and the two Frestos are going to just walk straight up and be on either side of the Sylvina, which is perfect for us. And then eventually Sylvina will get gulped after that, and the Frestos will just be able to continuously deal their damage, and the boss will alternate gulping Nero and Sylvina. So this is just an upgrade, a strict upgrade to the previous version of the Graveborn team, and this is really solid. Resonating Spell is an optimal artifact for every single team for the CRAZED SHELLBRUTE. Whether it's like no Fresto or a Fresto 1 copy, all the teams so far, the optimal artifact is Resonating Spell to power up your carry. Okay, so that is basically the team in a nutshell. Of course, if you can get like a high exclusive equipment upgrade on Fresto, that is going to help you. It gives him more stats. If you can get him to Supreme, for example, rather than Mythic Plus, more stats again. Same with Smokey. If you can get him up to Supreme Plus, more stats. High exclusive equipment upgrade, more stats. And Ludovic, same, more stats. That is going to increase your damage output. So there's an amazing team. And honestly, it is a very solid team. even though the Mauler team with Shakir is better, we're now gonna go over that team, and that team has a bit of a steeper requirements. Okay, so here we have the Mauler team with Shakir, which this is a beast of a team. Now, most important requirement, Shakir needs to be Mythic plus 10 exclusive equipment. If he's not a plus 10, he's not going to be able to apply his Wolf's Will attack buff to your allies, and you're not going to be getting the value from him. It's better to run the Graveborn team or something else. So he needs to be a plus 10 exclusive equipment. That is a minimum requirement. Yeah, that is it. You don't need to be above that, but of course, anything above is more value. However, plus 10 is good enough. Now, Mikola Supreme Plus is pretty important because like we mentioned when we talked about this team, Mikola is going to get gulped, but the mechanics work that if she has already casted her ultimate and she has Supreme Plus, Courier Sphere is unaffected in duration. So even while Mikola is inside the belly of the boss, so the boss like spans this whole range over here, right? This is the belly of the boss. While she is here, she's still going to have her Courier Sphere active up to 2 tile radius, and that is going to be around here. So your melee heroes, the 2 Freestos and the Shakir in the middle, they're all going to be gaining the benefit of the haste buff from Mikola even when she's in the belly of the boss, which is insane. Not only are you getting the Honor Arena to gain the attack buff, you're also gaining that haste buff on your 2 key damage carries and even the Shakir. It's crazy. So that is why this team is just so unbelievably powerful. The other thing is you want Shakir, the Kruger to not have his shielding, because with the shielding, apparently he gets insta-killed when he gets gulped, because maybe it gives him some unaffected. I didn't actually pay much attention to that, but basically you need to follow this exact positioning if you want this to work. And like we have mentioned before, Shakir is the rearmost melee hero in our formation, and that means he is going to be the final hero to be gulped. And if you have 2 melee heroes that are going to be gulped back and forth, then Shakir will never get gulped. So in this position, Shakir never gets gulped, and he runs to the middle of the field, and he ultimates, and he's in the perfect position with your 2 Freestos on either side, Shakir in the middle, Mikola being gulped, providing the haste buff for them all, Shakir, Smokey providing the attack and haste buff to everyone. It's just the perfect team. Like, it's just, in every ways, it's perfect. The only maybe upgrade is maybe replacing Kruger for something better, because we don't even need a Mauler, we just need another melee hero to take the gulp that could provide some value to the team. We still have to do more testing with that. We tried things and they're not really working. But what we're thinking is maybe running Nero rather than the Kruger and giving the charms to Freesto, but it compromises the positioning. We're going to have to change up the Shakir positioning. Basically, it becomes more awkward. So we don't know if it's actually going to be worthwhile doing that. But we'll see. Maybe there's potential for this team to upgrade, but only minorly, basically. Okay, now as for the investment, we talked about the Supreme Plus Mikola, pretty important. You can try her when she's below Supreme Plus, but you're not going to gain the advantage of her Courier Sphere when she has been gulped if you don't have her at Supreme Plus. Okay, Smokey is going to need to be Mythic Plus. Again, the higher, like +5 exclusive equipment, it gives him more stats, gets off more damage. And same for the Freesto, the higher exclusive equipment you can get, Mythic Plus, is going to be good for you. Kruger doesn't matter at all. He can be 1 copy. And, and also for the Graveborn team, the Nero can be 1 copy. For example, he does not matter at all. He's just providing the charms. He's going to be gulped first. You do not need a Nero invested. You just need a 1 copy of Nero, basically, for this to work. So those are the minimum kind of requirements, and the higher you can take them, the more effective these teams are going to do. And I'll be doing testing of this tomorrow on my account. I don't have a +15 exclusive equipment Shakir. I don't have crazy upgrades, but I have really solid upgrades. So yeah. Okay, now the minimum requirement for the faction talent tree. So for the Mauler faction, you want to get to stage 3 and you want to unlock all of these left side nodes, these 4 nodes over here, the main middle node, and then the 3 on the left. Those will give you the most damage because these 2 attack boosts and then this one, all in all, is going to add up to 5.5% attack boost. If you want to go even further, this one is another cheap one to get. It gives you energy on hit, which is a minor, like it is an offensive stat, even though it has an HP logo. And then over here, this is the only other skill upgrade for this stage 3 that will help your damage. But again, this is a very minor amount. This damage is not how you're dealing damage. You're dealing damage with your HP per second damage from Vicious Sting of Freesto. This like slight, like, you know, this basically rotating attack every 5 seconds, this hardly deals anything to the really tanky boss, especially because you're not even breaking the shield, and this is going to be reduced by the shield. But so this is not so important. Really, you can get away with only 24 in the Mauler talents going down the left, and if you want 25 for that, that is the most important thing. For the Graveborn tree, you need to get the final node. This is really key for the Graveborn. This is a major source of your damage as well. This is causing HP per second damage to the boss for 15 seconds at the beginning of the match, up to 60% of the prime carrier's attack. And this is a meaningful form of damage. This is like a mini Ludovic just in the skill effect alone in terms of damage. So the best and cheapest way to do that is to go attack from the middle node and then go down the left. Again, you're going to be gaining another 4% here and 3% to begin with, so 7% attack, and then you're going to gain the skill effect, and then you can stop. Because the penetration actually doesn't help our team, like we mentioned, like with Thorin, it doesn't increase the damage of HP per second damage, and defense penetration, again, it doesn't, because it's basically like it's kind of like a true damage on steroids. That's what HP per second damage is. It cannot be reduced by anything. You do not need defense penetration. And then the right, this gives you 1% bonus stats of the sacrifice. Again, minor upgrade. The left and down to the top, 25 talents in Graveborn are the key ones. If you want to go further, of course, then and you want to move into stage 4, then you can gain some minor attack boost, but these are so minor. Look at this, 1.2%, 0.8%, in total 2% for all of this investment, and then here you gain some minor attack each time you upgrade it. It can upgrade up to 10 times. These are really, really minor. These are like for like absolutely min-maxing, but really you're set to go at 25, and like, yeah, I didn't even have to go for these other nodes. I thought they would improve, and this one does improve it a bit, but this one doesn't really matter. So this is basically the thing you're shooting for, and it is not too difficult. You can even run both of them. Like, you could easily run 24 in Muller and also 25 in Graveborn with the final node. And you can test both of the teams. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the minimum requirements as well as the team formations. Sylvina is the improved version in that team rather than Thorin. So these are the teams to be trying right now. And if there is any update on future teams, I will let you guys know as soon as I become aware of them. But good luck with all the team testing. Like I mentioned, I did make a top 10 video of all of the best Crazed Shellbrute teams, and in that I covered a lot of the free-to-play and lower Fresto copy version teams, basically not these super endgame comps. So you can check out that video if you don't have like a well built up Fresto, like a Mythic Plus or above. But anyway guys, thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this video. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and until then everyone, peace out for now. And if you want to join my AFK Journey Discord server, there's a link to that in the description of this video. But until then, until the next video guys, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.